The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie on 99X.
You owe me a lot of money.
How's that?
All my product burned up on the side of my road.
Let me explain something to you, all right? Number one, it's our road. It's part of the lease. It's not your road till the lease expires, all right? Number two, nowhere in this lease does it say that you can land a plane on it. And nowhere in this lease does it say that you can use a plane of ours to truck your into the country. Because of you, I've got lawyers up my ass so far they can see out of my mouth. Not to mention the sheriff and the FAA and the NTSB. You just put a giant bullseye on this place.
That is a scene from Landman, starring Billy Bob Thornton, among a lot of others. Please welcome the man from Landman, Billy Bob Thornton. Good morning.
What's up there, y'all?
Man, we haven't talked to you in a while. We just mentioned the other day you're in the list of like the top 5 most guests ever, and most of the time in studio, and it was always such a pleasure to have you.
Well, it's always good to be with you guys. I always have fun, and of course I remember you.
Thank you so much. And also one of our favorite actors, too, Billy Bob. And I have to say, congratulations on Landman. I saw this one review, and the headline said, "Never doubt Billy Bob Thornton." So true. What drew you to this project?
Well, I had done a cameo for Taylor in 1883, and when they had the premiere of that in Las Vegas, I was sitting next to him at dinner afterward. And he said, "Look, I'm going to write this show called Landman. I'm writing it around you, and I'm going to write it in your voice." And he said, "I think I've got your voice down." And then he started writing. And when I read the first couple of scripts, it's like, I'll be dog if he didn't get it right. You know, it fit like a glove. You know, it really did. Essentially, if I were a landman, it'd probably be about like that, you know. And, you know, the point of acting is to try to be, you know, not try to, but just to be natural, you know, just react and listen, observe, and, you know, look people in the eye and be authentic. And so, I try at that every time I do something. So I just kind of did this as if it were me. And Taylor, like I said, wrote such a tight script and really did capture not only my voice but several other people's voices that he put in these parts, and it was so thoroughly researched, you know, the scripts, and I don't know if anybody's told you guys this or not, but we were supposed to shoot it way earlier than we did, but when Taylor was writing, he had to knock off for a while because that's when the strikes happened.
Oh yeah.
And the Writers Guild, so he had to put his pen down for a while, and otherwise we would have done it sooner. But I think the timing actually worked out maybe even better the way it happened.
Well, earlier in the year, I got an audition for Landman. I was asked to come in, and I was really excited thinking about the idea of even being able to spend some time on a set with you. And the scene, when they send these scenes out, I feel like a lot of them are fake, and I know you don't probably audition for roles anymore like us little people. But this one scene that they sent, and the scene, I was going to play the CEO of BP Oil. His name was Bob. The scene, I didn't recognize the name Ratcliffe as a cast, and I thought maybe that was your role. It was in a boardroom. Did you do a boardroom scene with a BP CEO?
No, that was John Hamm's scene there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do any of the. I'm sort of the foreman, the go-between. I'm the guy that the landman is the one who goes out there in the fields and stuff, and then only visits the rich guy boss every now and then.
Got it.
But yes, that was a John Hamm scene. But next time you have something that I'm in that you're coming in for, let me know, because I know somebody.
Yeah.
Barnes, you got an in.
Well, when I was seeing it, and I had to be British, which that was tough for me, but I just thought, wow, what a cool, you've got so many stars. John Hamm, you've got Demi Moore, Ali Larter, Billy Bob. I appreciate you saying that, and don't think that for a minute that I won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way.
Serious. No, absolutely do.
You're so nice.
I love the Taylor Sheridan universe. I watch a lot of his shows, but you talked about how the two of you have a lot in common, both writer-directors, and that, you know, when you're directing, you don't really like to rehearse. You like to get fresh stuff off of people. And I've noticed that in a lot of his shows, like even Yellowstone. Talk a little bit about that, because I totally get that.
Yeah, it's true. We don't really, do a lot of rehearsing. Taylor likes to keep the energy flowing all the time, and just, try to keep people in the moment. And, some people will rehearse, half the day. And by the time you do the scene, you really just want, like a hot fudge sundae or something. I mean, you don't want to even do another scene. Yeah, I've always believed in not wearing actors out. And so Taylor feels the same. We'll do stuff, you just sort of halfway do it just to get the camera marks and stuff like that. But we never put, the full emotion or whatever's happening in the scene into those rehearsals.
We're talking with Billy Bob Thornton, one of my favorite characters that you've played in one of the shows that I don't know if this is coming back or not, Goliath. Is there a chance we'll see any more Goliath?
I'm not sure. There's been some talk about.
So good.
I mean, I'm sure there's not going to be any more of the series, but there's been talk of doing a Goliath movie. I don't know if that'll happen or not.
I just love that. You were so damn good in that show.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I loved playing it. I was telling somebody actually the other day that the character in Goliath and the character in Landman are pretty similar, but in different worlds. I would imagine that if they ever met, Billy McBride would be prosecuting Tommy Norris.
I felt like Goliath had this huge cult following too, and you even said, I play it as if it's me, and I think you do that with a lot of your roles, but Barnes and I both big fans of Goliath. We just had to bring that up.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you, because I really loved doing that show. Yeah, I sure did.
Well, you've done so many memorable characters. Which one, if you had to pick one, stands out as the most challenging of all of them?
Well, maybe Landman. The reason I say that is because when you're in Texas doing a 2 or 3 page monologue and it's 100 degrees in the middle of an oil field, not a tree in sight, it gets pretty hard to get through those. I had a lot of dialogue in this. There's a lot of oil talk, and stuff that I had to learn what it meant, before we did it. And when you're out there in those elements, we started in the freezing cold and ended in the boiling hot. And, we were out there at those oil rigs. It's kind of the real thing out there, So it's a pretty challenging part. I guess that, and there have been. I guess the ones, that I wrote, directed, and starred in, my own little movies, that's always a challenge because you're so responsible for everything. So that would include like Sling Blade and, Daddy and Them, and a movie I did called Jane Mansfield's Car, which I actually shot down there in Cedartown, Georgia.
Oh, cool.
And,
That's right. Yeah, I have to say the conditions, because even the actors that I read interviews with, like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill in 1883, they said the conditions were rough, and it looked the same way in Landman, which shows the authenticity that I think Taylor Sheridan brings to his shows.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's almost like the environment's another character in the show,
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you can feel the heat, and but it doesn't matter how hard the conditions are on a movie, honestly, to me, because I thank goodness every day. Thank my lucky stars every day. I feel very fortunate to be able to do what I love in the artistic world and take care of my family. So I really can't complain. I mean, when I was growing up, I worked at a sawmill and hauled heavy equipment and, worked in a machine shop. It's like, I feel I'm pretty lucky guy.
That's awesome. Well, Billy Bob, are you on any social media? People want to follow your stuff, or is it just good luck?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that have any involvement in really is our band, the Boxmasters.
Oh, gotcha.
In Atlanta several times. And,
Yes.
Yeah, we love them.
We have an Instagram for the Boxmasters.
Okay.
And, so that's a good way to follow kind of what's going on is Instagram. Excuse me. And there's another one. There's a fan of ours named Jess in Germany, and she has one called Mod Billy 66. And she knows more about what I'm up to than I do. And
Perfect. I love your style, Billy Bob Thornton.
I love it.
Thank you very much. Landman, Paramount Plus, new episodes drop on Sunday nights. Billy Bob, a pleasure as always.
thank you so much for having me again.
If the whole world decided to go electric tomorrow, we don't have the transmission lines to get the electricity to the cities. It'd take 30 years if we started tomorrow. We have a 120-year petroleum-based infrastructure. Our whole lives depend on it. And hell, it's in everything. That road we came in on, the wheels on every car ever made, including yours, it's in tennis rackets and lipstick and refrigerators and antihistamines, pretty much anything plastic, you name it, everything. And you know what the kicker is? We're going to run out of it before we find its replacement.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99X.